So we're here with Hanford, and we're here to speak about Maquette. If you could give us a quick pitch about who you are and what your game is.
Cool, yeah, I'm Hanford. Our game is Maquette. It's our debut game, and it's a first-person puzzle game that takes place in a world that's nested inside of itself recursively. So the way to think about that is you have a world under this dome, and then in the center of it, you have a smaller version of that world, and anything you do in the normal-sized world is affected in the tiny world, and vice versa.
Yeah, the puzzles are very neat because there was one part where I needed to cross an area and I needed a bridge, so I found a little tiny toy bridge, and putting that into the little miniature town made a bigger one come out. And it's neat because once it all started to click, you get that aha moment, and then all of the puzzles started to come together. There was one with I needed to do the same thing. I needed to get across a gap, and I realized I had a key. And I dropped the key into the world, and the key became the bridge because I didn't have access to the toys. So that was crafting those sort of aha moments instead of just making like a straight up puzzle game. It's more like intuitive, like figure it out. Eventually it'll click. How do you come across like designing that sort of puzzle game?
So in a game like this, and it is a game of aha moments. Like what I tried to do as a designer is I built the world. And then started playing with it myself. And when I saw interesting properties in this nested world, I'd have my own aha moments. And so I'd play around with it and say, oh wow, I can take something from one level and into another, and it changes its size. And so the way the puzzles are designed is each time you have one of those aha moments, you learn something new about how the world works, and now that's in your toolbox. And so the very first time you take the toy bridge and put it in the toy world, you go, aha, that's how it works. And that's what leads you to be able to solve the puzzle later on. We say, maybe I can take something from the real world and put it in a small world and use it as a bridge. And so all the puzzles in the game build on each other in that way. We keep adding new twists to how the world works in order to build new puzzles.
And the game starts out with a really good original song, and the game itself is a very unique, distinct art style to it. How was it coming together, marrying the visuals with the art style and with the romance story that the game has, all these elements together?
Yeah, I came up with a puzzle design first, and then I wanted to come up with a story that matched it, and that was the real hard part. And so I did a lot of creative writing and just kind of going back, not trying to write a story for the game, but just trying to write stories and storytelling. And we hit on a relationship story, and we realized, this game is about relationships in multiple ways. And so we kind of worked really hard to kind of marry the story to the puzzle and the world design in a way where the player will play through and have their own kind of moments of realizing how the story and the game world kind of blend together.
And with this being the first public outing of the game, how's it been watching players interact with the game and figuring out, okay, this is where we need to include a little light shaft to add a clue or something, and easing the players, seeing what works and what didn't work. How's that been?
Yeah, I mean, we're actually really happy with how well it's been performing, considering this is the first 24 hours anyone outside of our studio really has ever played the game. So we kind of let the public at it, and but we knew we weren't going to be perfect. We know the only way to solve all those problems is by having the public come and play and let us watch, and that's why we have developers here, so we can watch to see what's going wrong, what's going right. And yeah, we have some tweaks we need to make, but again, that's what we expected, and that's actually a really cool aspect of having an event like PAX where the public can play it, and we can learn from it.
And you guys are picked up by Annapurna, and I'm a big movie geek, so Annapurna films, I'm a big fan of their films, and when they jumped in the game scene, they've got a really good eye for just unique, interesting games. How's it been getting added to that catalog and working with them?
It's been phenomenal and honestly humbling. I actually demonstrated the game, just the game mechanic, when I first came up with it in 2011, which is a long time ago. And a few years ago, actually, Annapurna came to me and said, hey, are you still working on that game that you demonstrated way back when? I was like, yeah, I am. And that started the conversation that led to us working together. But I mean, yeah, they're their game roster is amazing, and I'm really honored to have Maquette be part of it.
And with the game just being announced, do you have like any sort of idea for release date and platforms?
So just today we announced, we now have a Steam page, so you can go and wish list it there. But we don't have a release date yet, and Steam is our at this point the only platform announced.
Well, thanks a lot. Like the game is just visually, like audio-wise, just gorgeous. Just the way it's all married together. I had a lot of fun playing it. Thanks for taking the time to like interview us, or let us interview you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good PAX.
You too.